Might be battling some of the violent winds in Austin, Texas. We have violent winds in Texas. They're like throwing over semi trucks and stuff into Amarillo. I've never seen anything like it. I've been in this house for 2 years. Very violent winds. Beware the Ides of March. You know. This is super random, but just feel guided to get on here to paint a picture about James Casbolt. I've been a deep journalist for him in his life for many years, and it's coming out more recently. More people are talking about the Jesuit nature of the world and how it seems like this like overreaching authority in the world is like the Jesuit kind of order that they want to see happen. Now, it's worth noting that he was born and raised in, so he says, a Jesuit orphanage, and he was indoctrinated to think that he could potentially be one of the 42 specific children out of the batch of the 42. One of them was supposed to be Lucifer himself, like embodied, like the antichrist. And it seems like there's like this narrative that he had some kind of autonomy, that he escaped from the Jesuit situation, but it's obvious that he has at least says he was indoctrinated with a lot of the Jesuit indoctrination. The depopulation and just the endless war, yada, 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 the Jesuit indoctrination. And he has this like image that he escaped from the Jesuit situation, but I don't know that it's just that easy, right? Just like a lot of people that were abused in satanic ritual, like could still be used for the devil if they didn't really get all the way out. So this isn't like a criticism, but I think it's worth noting that he's probably maybe still a Jesuit. Now, if you go to End Times Productions, they talk a lot about the Jesuits. They have a really good, long description of the Jesuits. And we did have a conversation, him and I, and he said that these people hate America and they hate their God. So the number one thing about the Jesuits is like this order about everything against God, basically, and they want to like exalt themselves as God, and they're so angry with America and our God, right? Because all of the people escaping persecution since World War I have made their way to America. So now you have a lot of really powerful people in America escaping all of this persecution. Now we have a very big powerhouse in America full of God and the Holy Spirit. So this is kind of why this country is like a roasting pig over the fire, and this is the greatest adversary to the Jesuit order. The Jesuit order are people who want to play God. He was raised in that indoctrination, and I think that he explains himself from my point of view, but I don't know that he doesn't also really truly believe what he's saying and for himself, or if he's just saying like this is just what those people believe, because he doesn't profess God. He does not profess Jesus. He thinks he is Jesus, a GMO Jesus, which he basically is, like a clone. So sometimes you can get an avenue for information because still within the DNA, there's still information that is true. You got to sift through the 90% to get the 10%. And Jesus is not here. Jesus is not here, right? He's not here on earth. The closest thing that the Jesuits believe is it's actually this reappearance, this embodiment of Lucifer Christ, who comes as the Antichrist, who comes before the actual Christ arrives. So the Antichrist they're going to exalt in the end times is going to be the reappearance of Lucifer Christ that was bred and born, controlled, and monitored by the Jesuits. I have good reason to believe that this is actually, truly, factually James Casbolt. So if anybody comes out trying to pretend that they are, I don't think it's going to be them. Like, it's not Obama, it's not even Donald Trump. It's somebody else that they're going to exalt as the Antichrist. And it's going to be very confusing because it's going to be like yes and no. Like yes and also no. Because in this world, Jesus is not here. So there's a man that embodies the other Christ, the Christ of the world, that is the Antichrist, that would be like the reappearance of Lucifer, that was like within the batch of children that he was indoctrinated with. They truly believed one of them would actually end up being the full expression of Lucifer, Lucifer Christ, who's going to exalt. I don't know if he exalts himself or if he is exalted. This is like the weird in between we're navigating right now. Like, do you exalt yourself, or is somebody just going to exalt you? Are you going to be exalted? We don't know yet. But I don't know, I feel weirdly guided to remind you that you need to look into the Jesuit order. You need to watch End Times Productions on YouTube, End Times Productions, everything about the Jesuits. When all the world is looking to all these different like enemies and players, you really need to look into the Jesuits, ancient long time order that they have, that all they care about is maintaining that order. So that's like above all the war and everything. And he was a candidate, and I think the fact that he has this image that he broke away, I think actually gives more credibility to the fact that it's likely a huge possibility, because wouldn't that be the case? Some people think they broke away from their indoctrination, and they're living free, but they're not. They might actually be all about it, right? They might actually be like tracked and surveilled and monitored and used still for the agenda under the guise that they somehow escaped their situation. And wouldn't that give more credibility to the Antichrist if he was like, oh, I'm a self-made man. I'm a self-made man. I escaped. I got away. So this is not a criticism. I mean, I love James Casbolt. I've never really felt like anybody loved me more than he does, and that is, that's the truth. But just wanted to point it out, want to put it out there. Like, remember, like, he was raised by Jesuits. He does have Jesuit indoctrination, and they are looking for the return of the full embodiment of Lucifer Christ. There's a high probability it is actually him. I don't know. We'll find out, but we'll see. But yeah, I just want to put that out there. Look into the Jesuits. All right, check you later.